So hello and welcome guys. In this tutorial we're going to talk about operator overloading in C++. So actually first of all, what is the meaning of operator overloading? Operator overloading means there are some operators like we know the simple operators like plus, minus, multiplication, division, and then there are some signs like this one which is used for cout and cin and so on. Basically we know that this sign means we want to add something. This sign means we want to subtract two numbers. They can be integers or float values. This sign means we want to print out something on screen. This sign means we are going to take something in like the input from screen by using cin and all, std cin, whatever. So we know what do these things do. But actually by operator overloading, what do we mean is, if you guys are familiar with method overloading, what do we do in method overloading? We have one method. So suppose this is a method. We overload this method with something else that does some else function. So basically what am I trying to say is, we'll use the same sign but it will perform a different kind of function for us now. That's what we are going to do by using operator overloading. So first of all, for getting a for just for an example, I'll do one thing. I'll create a class called complex, and this class will basically hold complex values like complex numbers. And obviously we know that complex numbers have, I'll do one thing. I'll make everything public so that it is easy to explain. So we all know that a complex number has two parts. One is the real part and the other is the imaginary part, right? So I'm going to create two things, like the real part and the imaginary part. So and this seems to be easy, right? So I'll create constructors now. So I'll create one default constructor for basically if we are just creating an object. Other I'm going to create a default parameterized constructor with two just complex numbers, I should say, or not numbers, actually the real part and the imaginary part. So suppose x is the real part and y is the imaginary part. That's how we're going to consider it. So first of all, let us assign those things to it. So not return, actually I'll have to say real equals to x, and in the same way imaginary part equals to y. So it means that we are basically we are, even if we make the class, so I'll just create the class, or create objects, I should say. So complex class A, I'm going to set it as say 2 comma 5. So what does it mean? It means that our complex number is 2 plus, hold on, not added, 2 plus 5 iota. This is my complex number A. In the same way, I'm going to create one more complex number. Let us call it B actually this time. So A and B. So let us keep it like 6 and 8, whatever. And afterwards, in the same way, that number is going to be 6 plus 8 iota. Now this seems to be easy, right? We have created two complex objects, A and B. Now what if we want to add these two numbers? I won't say numbers objects, actually I am going to say numbers, because we know that these two are complex numbers. But in coding's language it is an object actually, because this interpreter does not know that it is a complex number. It just knows that A and B are some objects, right? So let us consider creating one more complex number C, and I'm not going to set it to anything. Basically I'm saying C by this default constructor, so C. So what do I want to do? Hold on. What do I want to do is, my task is that I want to add these two numbers, complex number A and complex number B, and save it to the number C. So basically I want it to be like this: C equals to A plus B. That's what why did I comment it? It's okay if I don't comment it out. So I want it to be like this: C equals to A plus B. So it should be easy, right? So when we add to complex number, we know how do they get added, right? First we add the real part, then the imaginary part. So it will be something like this. So 2 plus 6 plus the number will be basically be adding complex parts. So this is nothing but 5 plus 8 times iota. So basically we added the real parts first, then the imaginary parts afterwards, each other. And if you guys know, we add vectors also kind of in the same way, like x coordinate and y coordinate in the same way. But vector, we can actually do vectors also in this thing, but it's fine. We are just saying complex numbers in this tutorial. So if you see, I'm getting a red squiggly line over here, which I really hate. And why is it? Let us try to run this code and see why do I have that error. So see, it is saying it has a bunch of errors and really a lot of things that I cannot read. So basically it means that, as I told you, they are numbers, but actually for coding or for C++ interpreters, they are not complex numbers. They are two objects. So what are we doing? We are trying to add two objects. And how can we add two objects? It is not possible to add two objects. That's why it gave us an error. But what did we have in our mind? We had in our mind that it will get added like this. But it cannot do that. It does not know how to do that. It just knows that this sign stands for plus, and it just adds, and it cannot add two objects. So what to do now? For this thing we need operator overloading. So we are going to teach the compiler how to add two complex numbers. So basically by operator overloading, we teach the compiler what to do by using that sign. So for overloading the operator, we are basically going to write a function in the class. So that function is going to be first of all the return type. So you guys know that whenever we add two complex numbers or objects in this case, the returning type is going to be object only. So basically addition of two complex numbers is going to be a complex number only. So it will be complex type, returning type, right? Afterwards we write the method name or the function name. I said method because I'm used to Java. So now it's going to be the function name, right? So the function name is going to be really easy. First of all, we use this operator keyword like this thing C line already suggested me. The operator keyword, after that we will write the operator that we want to change, so that we want to overload, I should say. So it can be either plus, it can be minus, it can be multiplication, it can be this operator, or it can be any type of operator. But in this case I want to overload the plus operator, that's why I'm going to write that operator. Now the parameters and the body. So see, parameters is a basically the thing that is important over here. So see, first of all, what I want to do is I want to return something, right? I want to return a complex thing. So, but in the complex thing, what I want to do, I want to add two numbers. That's what I'm going to do. So to add two numbers, first of all, I'll need one complex object. So the parameter is going to be one complex object. So complex, let us call it C1 or whatever you want. So this is C1, and so let us say other object C1 and C2, right? Or not C2 actually. I need just one object C1. Now fine. Now what I want to do is I want to return a complex type object. And in this thing there's going to be the real part plus the imaginary part, like I told you in this comment over here. So first of all, let us use this parenthesis for the real part, then the next parenthesis or round brackets for the imaginary part. This will contain real part, this will contain imaginary part. So first of all, we already have the this thing x and y of the current object, right? So the current object, whatever it is, we will just add x, that is the real part. I shouldn't say x, actually it should be real, because x is this thing, x is the parameter of this function. Forget it. So real and imaginary, right? So we want to add the real part of this object with the real part of this object C1. So C1's real object is going to be what? C1, but C1 is the object. I want to get its real part. So to get real part of a particular object in this complex class, if I write dot, I'll get its real part, which I have already mentioned over here. So basically I added two real parts. In the same way, I'm going to do the same thing actually. Imaginary part of this object plus imaginary part, this object, by this object I mean the current object, and the imaginary part of the current object, which it already suggested me. Now if you guys see, I have a complex number. X means the real part, which nothing means but this whole is the real part. This whole thing is the imaginary part. Basically, I returned a complex part which returned a complex number. That's why I put the return type of it complex, the function name as operator plus. So now if you see, the red squiggly line is gone away and we have no stress now, I hope. So see, the thing is, now this plus sign, it is not identified as addition. It is actually identified as operator plus, which I defined over, which is the name. So this operator plus gets identified by this plus sign. This is not addition anymore for our interpreter. So basically this addition sign will add two complex objects or numbers. Now complex object or complex number is same, because we taught our interpreter how to add two complex numbers. So now if we run this code, I hope we don't get any error. We'll have to print the number, it is fine. But still, yeah, now we are having no error. The process finished with regular code 0. That is really nice to see. Now, first of all, let us try to print out, we have to check if it is right or wrong. So our C is the complex number. First of all, let us print out the real part. Then just for time pass or whatever, just write the plus sign, and then I think the imaginary part. So C dot imaginary part. So dot imaginary part, and just for more good thing, just write iota as well, so that it looks good. So just run this code. Let us see if it is working perfectly fine or not now. Okay, it is printing out 8 plus 13 iota. If you see over here, our two numbers are a and b, like complex numbers a and b. If we are adding two complex numbers a and b, 6 plus 2 is 8 plus 5 plus 8 is 13. That's why our output is perfectly fine. And that's how you overload operators. You can do the same thing for any random vectors. So if you have vector a and vector b and you want to add two vectors, like vector addition, you cannot add them by using this addition operator, right? In this, so for that we'll also overload the operator. We'll add the x, so basically just the x part of the number vector, then the y part of the number, and z part of the vector if the vector has z. So basically that's how we do operator overloading. That's all from my side. You can subscribe to our channel to get updates regarding new videos. That's all. See you and keep learning. Thank you for watching.